one of the city's most notorious gangs.
Critical Thinkers Podcast.
So crack all my life, ever since I was 11 years old. While the other young boy was trying to, in the park, playing football or baseball, I was on the streets getting money.
They label us a gang for coming together for something positive, for a movement to help the people. I mean, I know where I stand. I know I'm not a part of no gang.
We don't have no colors. A lot of my friends, they like to represent their Haitian flag that represent their country.
I like to extend high honors to the ancestors. Those ancestors being the ancestors of the Nile Valley that were responsible for some of the greatest civilizations that the world have ever witnessed. Those civilizations were predicated on the principles of Ma'at, which we define as truth, order, and righteousness.
Well, over here, critical thinkers, the truth don't need no support. God made Haitians or the Haiti made Zoes. We would like to welcome y'all to another episode of Critical Thinkers. You know our slogan over here, the truth don't need no support at all. And y'all know the OG Kenny K slogan is God made Haitians, but little Haiti made Zoes. What's good, my brother Jump? What you gotta say to the people before we start our podcast, my brother?
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Social media, it's your main man, Jumpy Jump, little Haiti Soldier, back at it again with another episode of Critical Thinkers Podcast. We'd like for y'all to just subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell so every time we come with that gas, like we say, y'all will be notified. You know, I like to also give a shout out to my hood. That's like no other hood. Little Haiti, baby. We in the building.
For sure. Jump, let's get right into it.
Man.
The internet going crazy with this Puff Daddy trial.
Man, it's always going crazy on the internet, man. One thing I notice about the internet streets, man, the internet streets is no different than the streets.
The hood. Any hood in America.
Man.
Because right now they dragging Puffy through the mud. But Jump, I'm scared because something is going on in America. Since when it is a crime to be a freak? Because I'm confused. The federal government wasting all that money on a freak off, on someone's sexual preference, what they do. Everyone in that situation was grown. Everyone participated at their own will. And the last time I checked, you know, this sex trafficking law, this shit is tricky. Because I know they invented that law for the pimps. You know, the pimps, you know, all the pimps, they, you know, especially them pimps in Memphis, you know, they'll go to the trailer park and get them 2-3 white girls and take them across that county line and put their ass to work, right? So, you know, they came up with this shit called sex trafficking for the pimps. Right. But now they done crossed it over with every other person. So you mean to tell me, John, if I fly somebody in from out of town, we both grown, I cut the check, she happened to get ready to go.
Right.
Me and her get into some type of altercation. She called the police. I sex traffic her? That is madness. This sex trafficking shit is real tricky, and I think it was designed to bring down the black man. Because it's crazy. A freak off. The federal government, a RICO, Junk, you've been to the federal prison.
Right.
And I'm going to ask you, how many niggas you encountered that was in the federal prison and told you, my brother, I'm here for a freak off?
Well, man, you know, when I hit that little red and white button, man, and I go to YouTube, man, and I see all over the social media that Puff Daddy trial is the headlines, man. First, we gotta think about this, right? It's Puff Daddy, man. It's P. Diddy. This is Sean Combs, man. One of the biggest moguls in hip-hop history, man. One of the most respected black entrepreneurs in the country, man. So when I look at it for what it is, like we always say right here on this platform, this is a critical thinking platform. And a lot of people got it misconstrued about the name and what it really talk about when we created that name is when you think about that concept, right? Critical thinking. Only thing it's telling you is that whenever we sit here and we piping this shit, we don't just pipe it blabbering out the side of our neck. We go a little thick, we go a little deep. We think it through, you know what I mean? We look from the beginning to the end of the situation and give you an outcome. Now, P. Diddy, from how I look at it, for
Hold
who
on,
P.
John.
Diddy
In
is.
short terms, he was trying to say, we teaching y'all to see past y'all nose. Go
Right,
ahead, John.
for sure.
Finish, my brother.
And that's how you got to think in life, you know what I'm saying? You got to see past go in life, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of smoke screens that be thrown, and you'll miss the mark, man. Shit'll fly right over your head. So, getting back to the subject at hand, Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Sean Combs, P. Diddy, one of the most respected moguls, like I said, by whites, blacks, brown, purple, blue people, what have you, right? When I look at this situation and all the time, effort, and money they putting into this case, one has to think, and this is how I think, and I heard it before this trial started. P. Diddy pissed somebody off in the wrong way.
The person pissed off the Billionaire Boys Club.
Yes.
The Ciroc deal.
Yes.
So it's deeper than what we think.
Right. So
Okay.
I want to start it off like that because when you look at it, to just add on to the insult that you know put out there about your sexual orientation or your sexual preference, man, when was it a crime to be kinky? When was it a crime to be freaky? And from what I've been hearing, and I've been following the podcast of Soul, man. You know, the boy Sean Gumby, you know, the boy be piping real hard, and ever since the Big Meech trial, the way he break down, you know, his cases, I've been following him, and he right there at the building. He in New York. Shout out to him too, you know what I mean, Sean, because he be breaking that thing down. And he got the same state of mind like we got. Like, when was it a crime, you know, to be freaky or kinky? You know what I mean? Here it is. They got Puff Daddy charged with racketeering, brother. They got this man charged with racketeering. And I don't know what the feds got in their hat right now. But so far from what I've been seeing is that, first of all, with Cassie, right?
Oh my God. Hold on,
Cassie.
John. I don't mean to cut you off. Cassidy. Cassidy not the only woman in the world that like to be pissed on. And it came out in trial, she ordered these escorts herself. That's her kinky thing. But now it's out in the public and she married. Now she trying to make it look like Puff Daddy forced her to let them escorts piss on her. But it's in trial that's what she like. So now that's in public, now she shamed. But Cassidy, my girl, you ain't the only girl that like to get pissed on. It's a lot of women out there that like to get pissed on.
Right.
So don't put that black man away because your secret out. Go ahead.
And I think it's a little deeper than, you know what I'm saying, her just, you know, putting it out there like that. You know, when I look at this whole case, man, you know, and like it's been mentioned, man, you know, this really do look like a domestic violence case when it comes to just Cassie and Puff Daddy. Now, like I was going, and like I was trying to draw, it seems like right now it's just on the surface, but I don't know what the feds got in the trick bag. Because right now, it ain't really looking like, you know, P. Diddy can get convicted by no jurors about no damn racketeering. Racketeering what? You know what I mean? And it is a fine line when you're dealing with the feds when it comes to the violating of interstate commerce, right? With the prostitution shit. But at the same token, you know, and it's crazy, man, that we're dealing with a racist society like America, and a lot of the laws that they impose in America on the black man or the Spanish, you know what I mean? Anything that's outside of a Caucasian race, it seems as if they make the laws as they go. Because if you look at it in a nutshell, what they trying to charge Puff Daddy with as far as sex trafficking, bruh, a lot of us guilty of that.
Junk.
You feel me?
Junk. You know what's so funny? My wife was reading it to me today.
Yes.
The racketeering consists of, and when I tell you what it consists of, half of America is going to get indicted for racketeering in the morning. A dildo, a AR-15, lubricant, the three things that the average American household have with sexual adults that's into those types of things.
But
that's
you know
in
what?
the papers, a dildo, a AR-15, and lubricant.
Right.
And once again, when have you ever, because you've been to the feds, John, when have you ever read in the nigga paperwork a dildo and lubricant? John, think about this madness.
Right. I don't, you know, like I said, man, I know the feds, and it was just not the feds, man. I mean, you had, like the secret society, you had the National Guard, you had all kind of people, all the IAs and the CIs or what have you that the feds got. They came, you know what I'm saying, to apprehend Puffy, right? And I don't think that these people wasted all their time to come up with an indictment to where all we're gonna hear about is some sex toys and sexual orientation and how freaky Puffy was. What I think is by the 6th, 7th, or 8th week of this trial, they're gonna try to go a little deeper because they're not only talking about, his sexual behavior. See, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make Puffy that demon that was controlling, that made threats, that blackmail people, that put people's lives in jeopardy, that threatened people, that wouldn't do the things that he told them to do. You know what I'm saying? With authority. You know what I'm saying? And they trying to make it look like he held people against their will, or he manipulated them, or he got them drugged out. It's gonna be a lot of stuff that I see that's gonna come out. On the surface right now, it's all about this perverted nature that he have, and they're trying to make it look like as if, he was just a drug addict, and, he had these drug dealers that he would call to get drugs. So, like, I could see where the case is heading, bro. And, it's kind of young. The case kind of young. The trial is kind of young right now. We at a very, very adolescent stage in this trial. But the course is taken right now. It's not really looking like the charges fit the description that they're trying to place on Puff.
But John, my brother, I ain't gonna lie to you, my brother.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you right now in front of the whole internet, I'm scared, my brother. Because I don't participate in a lot of freak offs.
Right.
So I don't sleep
I
well
hope
at
you
night.
ain't get kinky as
Listen,
well.
John, I don't deal in no type of baby oil and that type of kinky shit, but
Right.
I done dealt in a lot of freak offs. So I'm scared that they gonna come knock on my door and come get me.
Right, but Kenny K, you gotta understand, right? When you looking at Puffy and you gotta look at the case deep, right? You gotta look at, the image and the role model that Puffy was, right? And now they implemented like a lot of guys, and now I'm even hearing, through the radio outlets, through a lot of news medias, I'm hearing like Usher is probably about to take the stand. It's a lot of stuff that's dealing with kids and when they was kids, like the Ushers and the Justin Bieber. So you gotta really pay attention to what's really going on. And they're starting to make him a monster. First, they starting with the chicks that had the allegations. Cassie being the one to open up the can of worms because she was in a relationship
and
with
it was
him.
caught on video with
Right,
her. So
right.
that was easy. They
Right.
started off with that first.
Right, but they got a lot of videos, so I'm hearing. It's a lot of video and audio that, is stacked up on Puffy. because them people when they got a lot of tapes.
Yeah, but it's a lot of videos
You know?
and audio too that's helping Puffy too. Because
Yes.
a lot of people that's making allegations now, the videos and the text messages showing the difference. You came back for more. If he did so wrong and he was hurt and you know came back to back to back.
Right.
At the end of the day, you know, it right now it's 50-50 to me.
Right.
Like you said.
But you remember how Charles Manson, if you remember Charles Manson, KC, Charles Manson was a dude, he was a master manipulator, right? And he would manipulate, you know, these women to do all kind of crazy stuff for him because he was very, very sharp. So the direction that I see that these people is trying to take is as if Puffy was like controlling people, taking advantage of them, mentally bribing them, and blackmailing them. You know what I'm saying?
But the one thing I learned in the game in these streets, a real con artist taught me this real early in the game.
Yeah.
He sat me down and say, you can't, he can't get nobody who not trying to get him.
Right.
You know, so what he was saying is the people that's trying to get him, he just switch it up on them.
Right.
So the people that was dealing with Puff Daddy had the bag.
Right.
Everybody that dealt with Puff Daddy wanted something out of him.
Right.
Nobody came for free.
But a lot of them, see, this is where the catch come in at, right? A lot of them came to him, you know, for advice. They came to him to either be an artist on his label, and what they saying is, instead of him going about it, you know, man, as a music mogul, or as a producer, or as a CEO that he took advantage of people.
But at the end of the day, John, everyone has a free will. I understand what they trying to project what Puffy did as far as taking advantage of them because he was in a bigger situation.
Right.
But like I said, we not talking about no pimps and hoes. See, that's a different situation when the pimp manipulate, you know, these women to go out there, sell their body, bring them the money, bring the pimp back the money.
Right.
In this situation, they was their own pimp. They was making a deal with Puffy, the devil, whatever it may be, to get whatever they wanted to get to enhance their career in life.
Right.
So whatever Puffy was into, they all had a free will to say yes or no. If they chose their career over their morals, and now it's not sitting well with them, that's on them. But to try to put Puffy away for life, for having a freak off, for liking baby oil warmed up, that's that man's choice.
Yes.
And for all these disgruntled employees to come out right now and try to slander him, act like they wasn't participated in it, all the artists, Danity Kane, everybody trying to say what Puffy did. But everyone played their own part. They all was grown. I yet to hear anything about any minors, right? I didn't hear nothing yet that would make me say, you know what, Puffy, you went too far, because at the end of the day, the world is judging Puffy's whatever his sexuality is. Everybody's sexuality is their own. Right. Every person is into some type of freakiness, kinky thing. Everybody got their own thing, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, everybody got their own. Like in America, you know what I mean? Like they say, you have a right, you know, and you know, not too long ago, they gave rights to the LGBTQ community, right? So you could be lesbian, gay, trans, what have you in America, and they got rights. And if you dare to discriminate on these type of people, you will be charged for a hate crime. So just imagine how much stuff goes on, you know, in the world today. But just because Puffy, you know, with the image he portrayed and his name, being the person that Puff Daddy is, you know, he's very famous, and the allegations that are placed or alleged against him right now. And like I said, I don't think that they're gonna stay just on the sex thing. What they're trying to say is because of his sexual behavior, and since he was such a freak, he put certain people's lives in jeopardy. He put their careers in jeopardy because of his own sexual orientation that led him to do other heinous stuff, like threaten people's lives, like pull out guns on people, like drugged, you know what I'm saying, people, like spike drinks and parties, and it's all kind of stuff, you know, that we heard about before the trial came out. And then we sat there and watched them raid Puffy based upon things that were gradually coming out. And now here it is. We're on the first, what this is, the third day of trial?
I don't know, but they is
This is
trial.
like the third or fourth day of trial, and his trial is set to be at least 6 to 8 weeks. So every day they're gonna delve deeper and deeper and deeper. And listen, I am not gonna be surprised. There's nothing new under the sun. I'm not gonna act surprised when these feds start opening up all the other cans of worms and all the silent bullets that they got on Puffy. Look, my condolences go out to Puffy. I support Puffy as a black entrepreneur in America that's been doing it for like 30 years. But at the same token, right about now, we as critical thinkers, we got to be unbiased. You know what I'm saying? We can state our opinions based on what they gave us so far. And so far, with this old kinky ass, freak office ass allegation that they throwing out there about Puffy, it don't seem to amaze me at all, because we from Freaky Florida. You know what I'm saying?
Is you gonna bomb me out? They come get me? Is you gonna bomb me out? My
They not Kenny K. They don't have no tapes. You know, we was never into
every nigga I know is gonna get indicted for a free call. Okay, John, because I'm pretty sure you.
But you know, if you just look at it from where we come from, man, you know, we hood.
That's normal.
We hood brothers.
Right. That's
we hood brothers that turn to journalists, right? You know, and I try to be unbiased as possible, open-minded, you know what I'm saying, as I can be as a critical thinker that I am. And you know, it's kind of disturbing for me to know, like, Puffy to be the man he was, or who I thought he was, and to be able to probably have any broad in the world, and trust me, I know he done had the most exotic broads all over the world, but just listening to Cassie and the first guy that took the stand, the guy that was an escort, the male stripper guy that took the stand actually today, for him, you know what I'm saying, to be talking about like how when they actually flew him in and how he was introduced, and then how Puffy, you know, after the 5th or 6th, you know, different freak-offs, how Puffy took off the mask and just start wearing the little baseball caps, and while he was freaking Cassie, how Puffy would be just right there by the bed, just jacking off like he getting live porn. You know what I'm saying?
John,
I mean, that's still his
John,
sexual orientation.
For me,
yeah, you was with
no.
that.
Listen, but
that's what I'm saying, man. You know,
but by me coming from Biscayne, 63rd Street,
right,
Biscayne,
right.
I was raised by pimps and prostitutes,
right? And
right.
Kind of
that was nothing new to me. Crackers always had that type of fetish that they would come in the hood. They would hire the pimp and the prostitute because they want the pimp to fuck his wife. Right. So that ain't nothing new. That's something been going on under the sun from the beginning. Right. But at the end of the day, that's that Hollywood kinky rich white folks shit.
But you know,
so at the end of the
us
day,
growing up listening to Big E, you know, knowing Puffy, take that. You know what I mean? Just knowing
but
who
now
he
we
was
but you know
in
what?
that era.
Jump. I don't mean to cut you, but now we know what that means when he was saying take that. Listen, Puffy always had clues into the music. We always knew.
Pop did us, man.
But we always knew Puffy was the shiny suit, dancing, funny bunny type of nigga.
Yeah.
So it ain't nothing new. You know, Puffy doing this type of sexual kinky shit. But the reality is, Puffy lost already. Even if he get found not guilty, them white folks done did what they wanted to do to destroy his image,
character, bro.
right? Because even though Puffy done got charged with all these heinous crimes, I didn't hear not one person came out and say everybody pour out their Ciroc, right? Because they know if they say that, millions and millions of black people in America will go in their cabinet and pour out their Ciroc. So at the end of the day, they want to ruin Puffy's image. He lost already. Right. He'll never be the same. He'll never be able to recover from this. I hope at the end of the day, Puffy walk out that courthouse.
Well, I think he'll be forgiven. At the end of the day, if he get found not guilty, he's gonna be a hero. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody gonna, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna look at it from the perspective we looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody got their own little kinky and freakiness, so we're not gonna condemn him. We're not gonna find him guilty because of all the freak office shit that they talking about. Now, if they gonna take us to the door with that, man, we on the jury too, and he's not guilty.
Hello.
For racketeering.
Now, they got anything else?
You know, racketeering, bro? You know what racketeering is, bro?
I know.
Racketeering is damn near every crime in the book. Like, the man was a drug dealer. He done killed people. He done got people murdered. The freak off stuff. He done prostituted. You know, because they got him with prostitution, right? They got him with trafficking, sex trafficking, and racketeering, bro. Them are some serious ass charges. And me just knowing the feds, like you say, Kenny K, I've been in the feds. Feds do have damn near a 99.9 conviction rate. It's like 98. And most of the convictions come from guys copping out, for sure. But it's the reason why these guys be copping out and not going to trial. Yes, you have people beat the feds. Very, very few beat the feds on technicalities, right? But they have a reason for being that accurate with the conviction rate, because by the time they finish investigating you, or, you know, most of their investigation is dealt off of CIs, man. Confidential informants is what gets them the success 99% of the time. They are the Central Intelligence Agency, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, all the FBIs and CIs, and all this is investigative. Like, they get their information, intel from people that be right next to you.
Rats.
Your friends, your family, your loved ones, the ones that know who you are. So, when these people came flying, helicopter, marching in like, I'm like, damn, right there on the beach. They came and got P. Diddy. So, man, listen, I ain't finna big up the feds. I don't like how they rock. I think the feds some shit. I think they do a lot of fuckery, you know what I'm saying? And they it's almost like a double standard when they find you guilty, you know what I'm saying? Cause it be like they above the law or something, you know what I'm saying? When they do their investigation, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you know, I can't, you know, let my feelings get in the way of my intelligence. See, we gotta always put the intellect over the emotions. And right now I'm emotionally distraught. I don't like what's going on, because that's a black man in America.
John, I'm emotional
I don't like
too.
that.
Hold on, I mean cut you off. I'm emotional too.